Is that good enough? All right. We'll begin this morning with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the October 28, 2021 meeting for the Board of County Commissioners for Shawnee County. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year, also representing District 2. Joining me this morning is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioner Aaron Mays, representing District 3. Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Clerk, our first item.
I was having a little technical difficulty with my recorder. Sorry about that.
Do I need to go back and say it again?
No, I'm
right.
perfectly fine. I just had to consult with my consult with my expert over here. So okay, it started. It was just kind of zeros for the time being. Okay, item 1, proclamation presentation, Vallejo quarterly report. Bill Persinger, Vallejo Behavioral Health Care.
Chairman Cook, thank you for the time on the agenda today. Staff as well, Commissioners Mays and Rippon, always a pleasure to be here. We always start our report with a heartfelt and genuine thank you for your support of addiction and mental health treatment. We, as I've said many, many times in the last 6 years, and I'll say it many, many more times, we wouldn't be here without you folks and without our Shawnee County taxpayers. I do have several members of the governing board here. We almost have a quorum. And I would ask each of them to stand up, introduce themselves, and say who they're affiliated with. If I take just a minute for that.
Absolutely.
Tyler.
Tyler LeBeer, Topeka resident, employed by the Prairie Band Potawatomi Tribe, and I am the treasurer of Vallejo BHC Board.
Great, thank you.
Ashley Gilfillan with Energy Plaza.
Welcome.
Here's a familiar face.
Linda Oaks, retired director of the Shawnee County Health Department.
We don't have Klein here this morning
Oh.
for you all to pick on, so we brought Linda instead. Matt.
And Matt Coward, I represent on the board individuals who experience mental illness.
Good morning.
And the board members, we haven't rehearsed anything, but they're available to answer questions or make comments if you need to. I might refer you to the report that I put on your desk. I do think it matches the one that I sent 6 or 7 days ago, and sure appreciate staff handling all that and getting that information to you, and we're looking forward to a good year. I just want to start by referring you to the income statement, and Tyler is here's our treasurer of the board if you have any questions for him. We're down just a little bit. It's not quite as bad as it looks. We have a grant with the state of Kansas, a relatively small grant, but we haven't been able to allocate in terms of accounting since July 1 with that grant. Now that it's been fully executed, our accounting staff will be able to go back and amend the quarterly report, or it'll show up on the December 31 quarterly report. So that'll apply probably another $250,000, $300,000 to that bottom line and bring that negative figure up to maybe minus 200 or so. And so we're moving along, and things are going fairly well, and have gotten up on our feet, seeing an increase in demand for services. So there's the income statement. I believe our audit was approved by the governing board this past summer, maybe June or July, and I know that staff here have an enrolled and a final copy of that 2020 annual audit. So we did hire our former grant writer, Tom Searage, retired, and we've been able to replace him. Well, we won't be able to replace Tom fully. He had a lot of experience, but we've hired a young lady, Valerie Ramage, who brings a good deal of experience for her years, her young years, and we will be writing more grants. So we're anticipating being able to write a grant, submit to the federal government for what is called CCBHC. We've run those letters past you before, and it stands for a Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic, and it is a transformational process going on in community mental health all across the country and here in Kansas, to where community mental health centers will convert to CCBHCs. We're doing pretty much the same services, but the way we are paid by Medicaid, which is right at half our income and probably 75–80% of our fee income, will change to a cost basis instead of a fee-for-service basis. So once we input our costs, like a hospital does, or other facilities, Grace Med, the FQHCs, rural health centers, are paid by the federal government through Medicaid and Medicare at cost. Right now, many of the services we provide are paid below cost, just based on a rate that we're given when we sign a contract. So this will be based on cost. So that'll be coming and maturing. That process will probably mature over the next year and a half, both for us and the Family Service and Guidance Center. It will be transformational. We do anticipate more Medicaid money, and I'm kind of spitballing here a little bit. For doing about what we do now, we're expecting more Medicaid revenue to come in because we will be paid at cost, which should free up state, local, county grant money for even more services to the uninsured. So we're hoping, that finally we'll be paid at cost and that things will continue to improve, and that's how we plan to fund increases in staffing that will probably 15 or 20 positions we'll have to add. Make sure that our current staff are paid properly and competitively and so forth. So it's a transformational thing. You'll hear me talk about it at every report or anytime somebody will sit still long enough to listen. It's a very exciting thing. It's one of the biggest transformations I've seen in mental health since the early 90s, when we went through a national process of deinstitutionalization. So I think this is going to carry some very positive benefits for our community, our taxpayers, our clients, our partners, and we're just really looking forward to being part of that process. Fundraising campaign, we started a Text to Give program. We're holding our November challenge fundraising match, not an event this year. That'll be coming in the spring, our gala event. But Alan Towle has stepped up again through Fidelity Bank and offered to match gifts, and just doing a great job for us. Chef Adam and Casey Van Dong at the White Linen are getting ready to do their fundraising event for us next week. They've done for 3 or 4 years. So things are just moving along in grant writing and fundraising and providing the services that we need to provide. The Mobile Access Partnership, I might take just a little bit of time on this. I just went ahead and copied slides from a PowerPoint to let you have reference to that at your leisure. But the Mobile Access Project program is a collection of faith-based and government and nonprofit organizations, including Shawnee County Health Department and the City of Topeka through the TPD, their CIT program, the Rescue Mission, Grace Med, Vallejo Behavioral Health Care, and a couple of other partners. We have a mobile continuum of care directed at people who live on the street or others who are at risk, who need social services, referral for job placement, reconnection with their family. Maybe we can help somebody get into a detox program or intervene in a crisis situation. Sleeping bags, tents, food, socks, underwear, all those things we can do. We just designed MAP, started as a partnership between the Rescue Mission and Vallejo. And it's just, I guess what I tell people is designed to get in people's way. Do we just put services right in front of people where they almost have to stumble on us? And so it's a chance to engage people, give them a hand up, not a hand out, make sure people are safe and warm and on a road to recovery or greater independence as we can be. Kind of an offshoot of that is we just formed, with the help of the United Way of Greater Topeka, a coalition to be ready for the next polar vortex. So the Rescue Mission, the Mental Health Center, and others have started, and we've convened just yesterday what we're calling an extreme cold weather committee task force, just to be ready for, should things repeat themselves from last February or March, I guess. I don't quite remember when that was, but we were able to put some people up in motels, get them off the street for 4 or 5 days, get them safe, and again, get in their way and help engage with them so they can get plugged into services that will lead to greater independence. So that's a little bit about MAP. It's a unique program. There's a shower, bathroom, and laundry facility trailer that the Mental Health Center owns. And the Rescue Mission, you can see some pictures and schematics in here, getting ready to deploy a hot food trailer that will serve individual meals to people who are on the street, and people at risk, people who are the unsheltered homeless. They're also getting ready to deploy a 20-foot clothing trailer where people, in fact, they have deployed it, where people can just walk right in and select clothing that will help them survive and on the street until they can get a place to live. Stormont Vale will be rolling out, I think, in December, a primary care clinic, and I understand it to be about a 58-foot, and there's a schematic in here, primary care motorhome that'll offer services on the street to primary care to people who are uninsured and at risk and people who are unsheltered, all in an effort to help improve their health status. So it's just it's a heck of a partnership. It's unique. We had some folks come from Seattle who run the homeless shelter and program up there to spend a day with us. They were pretty impressed by the partnership and the positive attitude. We just have never had a meeting where we said, no, we can't do this. We find a way to do it. I will tell you that for the winter, we're going to put the shower trailer away. We can't, put antifreeze in it at night and then get it out in the morning and drain the antifreeze. I mean, you have to winterize your campers, your trailers. So we hope in the future we'll have some storage that is temperature controlled so that we can roll the shower trailer out in the winter. Now, having said that, MAP is going to continue twice a week or so during the winter. So our staff will be there, the Vallejo staff, health department staff, rescue mission staff. We will be on site. So the clothing trailer will be there, the food trailer will be there, but we have first ups, we have, canopies we can put up to hand out clothes and food and engage people in services. So MAP's going to continue. So if you don't see the shower trailer running up and down the road like we have all spring and summer, there's a reason for that. We just can't let it freeze and the pipes break. So like I say, we hope maybe next winter or the winter after we can find temperature controlled storage. So if you folks or anybody listening knows of a good, safe place we could store the shower trailer at the end of the day, especially during the winter, so that we can deploy it during the winter that's temperature controlled, we'd sure be interested in talking to them. So that's a resource that we do need to acquire. Moving along here, we're working on some statewide initiatives and with the help of Director Cole and others, and the district court, the municipal court, and the DA's office, and a lot of partners have taken some national and state initiatives. In fact, we've done some work even before those initiatives started cropping up. Do some work here in Shawnee County. Commissioner Cook, you've been involved in our discussions about competency stand trial, see if we can do more of those here. But we're doing a lot of work in the area where criminal justice system intersects the mental health, the behavioral health system, and putting Shawnee County in a very, very good place relative to helping keep people who are mentally ill out of jails. If they're in jail, can we plan for their transition back to the community? Director Cole and his team have been nothing but supportive and energetic, in fact, taking the lead on data and services, and quite a few things. The Stepping Up resolution that you guys signed made us about the 10th county in the state, and one of only about 400 or so counties across the country who have declared that it's important to keep mentally ill people out of jail if they're there. What can we do to provide services once they do come out? And of course, the services inside the jail for behavioral health care are going very well. And we just are really enjoying the partnership with the what we call the Intersection Coalition. So just want to comment on that. Already mentioned competency stand trial evaluations. We think that may be a way to reduce jail wait time for people who have to go to Larned State Hospital right now for a competency to stand trial evaluation, and what we call restoration to competency. What can you do to intervene and bring a person's psychiatric condition to a place where they are competent to stand trial. I don't want anybody to confuse that to the layman in the audience with the insanity plea or guilty but mentally ill kinds of thing. This is simply one's capacity to understand the charges against them, what's the role of their attorney, do they understand the system. And so we hope to offer both those services here in the future. Again, Director Cole has been nothing but cooperative and helpful in that way. Then we just mentioned some of the ongoing partnerships that we have, but I'll stop there, commissioners, and stand for questions, as will our members of our governing board. We wanted to bring MAP in front of you again and let you take a look at that and just realize how unique that is across the country and what a great, real faith-based nonprofit and local government partnership. So thank you for the time, and like I say, our time is yours. We'll stand for questions.
Questions for Mr. Persinger or his board?
I have a question. On
Yes, sir.
your mobile care trailers, you use any volunteers for this?
We do. We're taking volunteers. People can volunteer through the United Way, Topeka Volunteers. They can get a hold of us. There's a back page that I think gives some contact information for people who want to volunteer. We could use some more volunteers. I'll tell you, part of the strength of the faith-based partnership is that the churches involved provide us with parking lots. Of course, now that the mobile access number of trailers has grown, we need bigger parking lots, and And so, for example, you know, the United Methodist Church at about 6th and Topeka Boulevard's a great site, and Grace Point's been a great site. But the churches have provided access to water, electricity, you know, if we need additional restroom capacity, they've just been fantastic. And so the church members have volunteered not only their space and their time and their energy, but church members showing up to help out and work the day, and they just do a great job. In fact, you know, one of the jobs I saw them take on was cleaning the bathroom after each use. And, you know, that's right there in the nitty-gritty of things. And so church members have really stepped up and volunteered. But we would take more volunteers, definitely.
Bill, in years past, the county commission would make a funding request to Vallejo or mental health in general. And then we started to form more partnerships with the Department of Corrections and Brian Cole in Vallejo, Linda Oakes when she was the health director, in cooperative agreements for employees and staffing and forming more partnerships. And so we've moved our transition from just writing a check to being a partner with mental health.
Much
Looking
appreciated.
forward, what is something that Shawnee County can do for mental health that we maybe aren't thinking about yet?
You know, I want to, you know, say thank you for that. And you know, in fact, you know, other units of government have, I think, you know, taken your lead. And there are increases, you know, from the city, for example, in the CIT, the Crisis Intervention and the Co-Responder Program, and you know, and in the alternative sentencing court and in other areas. And, you know, we have some ideas about maybe, you know, how we could use American Rescue Plan Act dollars, and we've communicated that to Betty Griner's office, and some ideas that focus on public safety. You know, just off the top of my head, you know, we need some staff for the MAP program. Barry Feeker and I and others are staffing that program with current staff, so there's some staffing needs there. But you know, anything we can do around public safety and mental health and addictions, if there's a place for consideration, you know, with the ARPA funds, that would be very helpful. We finally got the health promotions position launched. We had a couple of, you know, rocky starts with the staff who had to, you know, take medical leave and this, that. We have somebody on board now, and hopefully we'll be able to move the needle a little bit with the community health improvement plan. But those kind of things have been very helpful. We've communicated to the city some needs we might have, you know, that would, I think, be a good spend on American Rescue Plan Act dollars. We're hoping that KDADS, our state authority, will do the same thing, and we think they will. But if there's an opportunity there to get us started with a couple, 3 projects that we have in mind, in particular that relate to, you know, public safety, such as criminal justice, and, you know, I'm thinking off the top of my head now, you know, maybe a staff member to assist with planning once a person is, you know, released from jail or before they're released, so that we can create kind of a safety net for that person, housing, family reunification, job, you know, benefits, things like that, continued treatment. So any of those kind of continuation to partnerships would be great. You know, that's just a few things off the top of my head, Commissioner.
There's still a stigma for mental health, for drug and alcohol counseling, and it's kind of a, we try to keep it hidden. We don't talk about mental health in our families or our friends or coworkers. Looking at some maybe opportunities to be preventive and not just crisis related, does Vallejo have reach out programs to Home Depot or Mars or Frito-Lay or Reese's to say, if you're having stress, come talk to us before you hit the crisis?
You know, we don't. We have had some employee assistance agreements in the past, but we're hoping that with the amount of marketing and information and public relations and meetings we go to, that they know that we're here, and I appreciate you highlighting that. You know, anyone can seek services at the mental health center. I think our business and industries know that we're there, but we don't have a lot of formal agreements for that, Commissioner, at least not that are active. We did years and years ago, and then a lot of the bigger companies began to set up their own employee assistance, you know, programs, and that's fine too.
I think just being ahead of things, being preventive would be really key to keeping people from hitting that crisis rock bottom.
That is true. You know, prevention and PARS, you know, Prevention and Resiliency Services here in town has a great preventative program going on for kids, and adults, we support that, work with them when we need to, such as on, opioids and things like that. And any help that, any level of government can be in helping us address the methamphetamine, the need for methamphetamine addiction treatment, detox would be helpful going forward. So, yeah, we just trying to get ahead of the curve. We have a social worker on the street with the police every day. We can intervene early, maybe even before there's a crisis, but, maybe before somebody goes to jail or tries to hurt themselves, or, maybe, just prevent that person from being homeless, one more day. That's working way upstream. And we think that with some of the criminal justice reforms and some things like that Director Cole and I and others in the Intersection Coalition, you, for example, have been working on, will help us get ahead of some maybe worse things that would develop for people, reduce jail time, increase recovery rate, that kind of thing. So a lot going on. It's pretty exciting after, first walking into a mental health center in 1977 to see a lot of this going on. And we've not had these kind of reforms in 30 years. It's very exciting. So I don't mean to ramble on, but you've kind of got me on my excitement vein here, Commissioner.
All right. Any other questions?
They
Thank
know
you very
better.
much.
They know I'll ramble on. Again, we appreciate our board members being in here and the time you've given us, and we'll try to come back at the first of the year, give you your year-end report to take a look at how the year ended up on audited financials and others. But,
I do want to take a
forward,
moment and
Commissioner.
thank you as the board members for the work that you do on behalf of Vallejo and on behalf of the community, and thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be down here this morning. So thank you very much.
We appreciate your support.
All right.
You folks are the best. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Take care.
Our next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There are two items. Is there a motion or question?
I'll move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business, A, County Clerk number 1, consider all vouchers payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers totaling $1,023,943.86. Highlights on that voucher report are under building and maintenance to Heartland Seating for $12,504. That's for the new bleachers at the quarter midget track in Shawnee South. Under bridge project, Finney and Term Seed for $30,800 for data collection and design services for the Southeast Laurel Road bridge over Tecumseh Creek. And then also to Finney and Turnip Seed for $54,000 for design services for South Topeka Boulevard over Wakarusa River. Under community corrections, Gray Horse Farms for $33,787. That's for the new carpet in their offices. Under sales tax, to Schindel Lawn and Landscape for the $56,299.20 for the entrance landscape at Stormontvale Event Center. That's part of the renovation project. And then under IT, for Tyler Technologies for $27,615.57. It's for annual maintenance of the advanced scheduling and time and attendance software. I don't have any questions finding this. I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item A2, there are no correction orders. Item B, Department of Corrections number 1, consider approval of request to solicit bids for inmate clothing and supplies needed throughout the 2022 calendar year.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is just our annual process for approval to go ahead and seek bids and pricing to we can lock them in for our different various supplies that we have at the Department of Corrections that go to the inmate population. We have seen increases each and every month. We've seen delays in different types of supplies that have come to the jail. So we want to, typically we do this in probably the middle of December. Excuse me, I figure we better get going now. So we're asking for permissions to get some stuff locked in, to go out bids so we can get these prices locked in and be a little bit more proactive this year than what we felt we needed to be in the past. So I stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions for Director Cole?
No, I appreciate the foresight though, so I would move for approval.
I'll second. Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B2, consider approval of request to increase the wage for the intermittent corrections specialist position from $15 an hour to $19.28 per hour.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is just our continued efforts to look at different ways to enhance hiring, especially those who already have other jobs that are in maybe similar fields that sometimes often do come to the jail to work intermittent, to fill in, to prevent people from being ordered and stuff like that. In the past, this has been about $15 an hour. We have seen a decrease in the amount of intermittents that have wanted to come. I did reach out to Mike Augustine with Human Resources and talked a little bit about where we fell in different status. We are a skilled intermittent position that we do fall within this rate here. It will be the current starting salary we have. There are no benefits or anything like that, but we feel this might be a little bit more competitive to be able to attract those that have been maybe former employees that are working similar fields that are coming here that have knowledge of the jail, and we think this could be an enhancement to our ability to get intermittent staff. And a lot of jails are going to intermittent. It's nothing new to Shawnee County. We have done it. But just like anything else, if things aren't competitive, it's tough to attract. So, again, before this came before me, I did reach out to Human Resources. We did talk to them. We do fall within the guidelines. I do believe our budget would be able to sustain this without asking for any additional money or anything like that. So, I stand for any questions you may have.
Questions for Director Cole?
No.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Reflected it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item C, Public Works number 1, considered approval of request to solicit bids for various road and culvert maintenance materials and products to be used for road maintenance and culvert repairs for 2022 and snow and ice removal during the 2022-23 winter season, and authorization to waive bidding procedures and purchase the following with estimated costs. A, emulsified asphalt for tack oil, sole source for Bettis asphalt of $60,000. B, crushed stone, direct purchases at quarry prices of $50,000. C, signed sheeting material, KTA contract, $30,000. D, traffic line paint, sole source with Kansas Correctional Industries, $200,000. And E, cold mix asphalt with City of Topeka contract, $30,000. Funding will be made from the 2022-23 Public Works Road and Bridge Maintenance Funds, the Special Bridge Fund, and Monmouth and Grove Township roadway funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Yes, this is my annual request to solicit bids for road and culvert and bridge maintenance materials for use in calendar year 21 and for the next winter, not this coming winter, but the following winter. On the first page of my memo, it lists the items that we're going to solicit bids for. And on the second page, it lists 5 items that we would deviate from the bidding process, but I want to make it clear, we're not violating the purchasing policy, the upcoming purchasing policy. We're just not going to bid for these projects. And the reason for that is listed in both the table and in the paragraph, the note paragraphs provided below the table. So I have tried to modify this document in anticipation of our upcoming purchasing policy, and with that, I look forward to any questions that you have.
I appreciate the transparency and the detail that you put into the memorandum. It makes it very clear why we would deviate from the policy for each of those items. And so appreciate that detail. Questions?
Yeah, Kurt, I saw that you got glass spheres for traffic lane markings. I heard there was a national shortage on that. Is that rectified, or are we anticipating problems getting those?
Well, I don't believe that shortage has really improved any, or the situation has improved, but I'm hopeful that at some point it will improve. I'm hopeful that we will receive some decent bids. We'll just have to see. I will be soliciting bids before the end of the year for glass spheres. If our luck isn't great, I may postpone or ask the commission to reject those bids, and I might try maybe later, early next spring or something like that. So we have some options. We'll make it work somehow.
Are there any alternatives to using those that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
That's an interesting question, but I don't know of any other any other item that you could place in wet paint that would provide the retro reflectivity.
Questions? Any other questions? All right, motion?
I'll move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0. Thank you, Kurt. Our next item.
Item D, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval of request to award bid to U.S. Foods for the purchase of food items and supplies for calendar years 2022, 2023 for Parks and Recreation for concession stands and day camps at an 8% markup over wholesale cost with funding from the Department operating budget and authorization and execution of contract C-361-2021 for same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. We were down before you a few weeks ago to request going out for bid for this service for our concession items as well as day camp. U.S. Foods was the best bid. We've used them in the past and have had tremendous, we've been pleased with them each time. They cannot always provide everything we need, but we still utilize Sam's Club and where we need to go if the need arises. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Randy? Is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item D2, consider approval of request to add wireless data accounts to the existing state contract with Verizon Wireless to provide cellular service for 10 iPads, $259.99 each, at a monthly cost of $40.01 per device, totaling $4,801.20 annually from the department's operating budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeremy Myers, Parks and Recreation. The item before you is, as the clerk mentioned, is for 10 iPads for our field staff. Feel that our iPads and our systems that we have in place help out in the field, such as our cartograph system, our C-Click Fix system, any apps that staff can use in the field. Also helps with our planning. When they're out in the field, they can see what requests are out there and address it at the time. They can also take pictures and make notes and address it for the following day and plan their work schedule. It also helps with internal and external communications. Emails get to these iPads that a lot of these field staff don't get to on a daily basis due to not everybody has a desktop. So we're targeting our park maintenance workers, some of our new positions that have these as well. And right now we are lucky to be working with Verizon because they are offering $100 off each iPad, so that's saving the taxpayers some money too. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions for Mr. Myers? Nope. I'll move for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item E, solid waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to post and fill a refuse collection supervisor position at a starting salary including benefits of $64,156.30 with funding from the collections operational budget, and to fill any subsequent positions that may become vacant due to filling this position.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. One of my supervisors, Mr. Greg Oliver, who has been with the county for 41 years, has decided to retire mid-December. So with that pending retirement, we're asking permission to go ahead and open up this posting and fill it and do a good look for a suitable replacement, even though his shoes will be very hard to fill. So as Ms. Beck said, benefits and pay was starting at $64,156, somewhere on range 15. This will be coming from our solid waste operational budget, which is 100% user fee funded with no tax dollars used. And again, I'd like to thank Mr. Oliver for his 41 years of service, and I stand by for your questions, gentlemen.
It's quite a long ways of service, and so thank you very much for those many years. Questions?
Now I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0. Thank you.
gentlemen.
Our next item.
Item F, County Counselor, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-362-2021, change orders number 17 with McCowan Gordon Construction LLC, and allowance deduct of $10,000, bringing the final total contract sum to $35,811,645.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Kraus, Shawnee County Counselor. I've been
Okay, now, Jim, we've been in the past, we've been 99.8%. So what's our final tally now?
Well, I've been promising this for several weeks. This is the final change order, and I'm happy to report it's a deductive change order, not an additive one. So it brings the final contract price with McCown Gordon to $35,811,645. And we do have approximately $200,000 in contingency left. We have a few items left to pay to HTK Architects, and then we have a couple of FF&E items Spectra will obtain for Domer Arena and Landon Arena. If you indulge me for a few minutes, I want to talk about the project and everyone involved in it, because it truly was a team effort from top to bottom. Betty and her team worked with me over the last year almost weekly with the budget to make sure we were staying on budget. You know, as I just reported, we came in under budget, which is what we try to do. When this project started, Cindy Beck contacted me and said, "You're going to need builder's risk insurance." Thank you, Cindy. I said, "Can you help me with that?" She did, and we got that. Of course, we hired HTK to design the project. We hired McCown Gordon as the construction manager. Spectra, our management team for the facility, worked hand in hand with those two groups to come up with a great design and a project that would be functional and would serve our needs. Dean Farrell was critically important to me, just with his construction experience, to be able to, when we encountered issues or difficulties, he was just a great source of knowledge for me to refer to. I want to thank the commissioners that sit here. I mean, as usual, the hard decisions fall on your desk from the moment of this was approved by the voters, and I want to talk about that in a little bit, but every tough decision, from conceiving, creating the concept, to how are we going to design this, to how are we going to finance this, to who's going to construct this. All of those decisions were made here by you three and your predecessors. I want to thank all of you for that. Finally, this project started almost 7 years ago to the date. November 4th, 2014, the voters and taxpayers of our county approved this project. It was what we called a quality of life project. There's a lot of cynicism out there when it comes to government. I think all of us working on this project are aware of that. I think we knew that there was a trust involved, that this was an important project for the community. We wanted to deliver on that project. We wanted to do a good job with the funds and deliver something that our community could be proud of and could use. So I thank the voters for giving us that authority, that opportunity. I hope that everybody in the community has an opportunity to go out there to use the facility. We offer a wide range of events, so there should be something for everyone. I hope you get out there, take a look at it, enjoy it. It's a project that I've really enjoyed working on. Every one of us involved have taken a lot of pride in it, and I think that's how we got to this point today. So we're done.
Well, going back to 1987, in 1987, the Shawnee County Commissioners undertook $20 million in bonds for the creation of the Expo Center. Also undertook $20 million in bonds to create a new Department of Corrections facility. And so that facility at the Expo Center grounds had really needed updating and improvement. And starting with H.R. Cook and the team of SMG going out and conducting studies before the taxpayers voted on it and showing what it could be and the work that the committee put into place, selecting the McCown Gordon. There's just been a lot of people involved, and so it's good to see the end product. And we hit some lucky spots along the way, getting in before steel prices went up. Even in the depths of COVID, as Commissioner Rippon, you as the chair, when everything got shut down, the Stormont Vale Event Center was able to continue work. And so we were able to get ahead of schedule in that respect. And so ending up with a facility that's ahead of schedule, under budget, I think that's a responsibility of the taxpayers that we always like to show. So, Commissioners, thoughts?
But Jim, there's one person you forgot to give credit to, and that's yourself, who is essentially the project manager for this entire thing from start to finish. So thank you on behalf of us and the taxpayers. I mean, you've done a great job. It's something you should be very proud of.
I really appreciate that.
I'll echo those comments. You did a great job of leading this project, and thank you for all your efforts.
Well, I appreciate that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that. You know, in this position, you don't just tell me to stay in my office and respond to lawsuits. You know, I get to do things like this that really steps outside of what a normal lawyer gets to do, and I really appreciate that. I guess the final thing I would say is we're not done improving it, so we're always looking for ways to improving the facility and the operations, and we always appreciate input from the public on regarding their experience at the facility. What can we improve upon? Let us know, and we'll take that to heart and do what we can.
Well, I know that Kellen has a top-rate facility now for Spectra to be able to use to market for our community. And so it's good to see it going, and lots of events. So,
All right.
is there a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the change order.
Second? All second. Motion made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you, Jim. Jim, before you go, don't go too far. Our next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for department heads, member of the public to address the commission on any item. Jim, based on the number of phone calls and texts that I've received over the last 24 hours, do you have anything to report?
Well, Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor again. I do, believe it or not. It's been amazing the amount of interest in this tax sale. I don't know if it's a function of, it's been a while since we've had one due to the pandemic, but we did. I think we also have had a lot of interest due to the fact that it was our first online auction, so we were working through that. From all accounts so far, it was very successful. And when it was all said and done, in a case that started with approximately 150 properties, all of them were redeemed but 12. So only 12 were in the auction. All 12 sold. I know there was a lot of interest in the Red Carpet Inn. The winning bid for that was $54,100. I do not know the identity yet of who bought that. Our contractor who operated the online auction, we worked with them leading up to the sale to make sure that from our end, any registered bidders were qualified under the state law for qualifications. But it was finally up to them to do the final qualifications in terms of ability to pay. And the way they operate is they assign a specific bidder number to each bidder right before the auction begins. We don't have a copy of those bidder numbers and who's assigned to those bidders. Hoping to get that information within the next couple of days. They're going to confirm that the winning bidders have made payment, the payments have cleared, and so I will be coming forward to you hopefully Monday with a much more detailed report on who the winning bidders were. Well, of course, that will all become a matter of public record, and if I get that information before Monday, I'll let you know, and I'll let the public know.
Questions for Jim? Very good. Thank you.
I think we will continue with the online bidding. It seemed to be very successful. I think it's time to move to that format. We had a lot of interest in it, and I don't see why that wouldn't continue moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other administrative communications this morning?
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. I'd just like to remind all of the county employees that we only have 4 days left in annual enrollment. If you have not gone out to enroll, you have to, even if you don't want benefits. Thank you.
I got mine done yesterday.
I saw that.
All right.
Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. I wanted to take a moment to recognize a couple of staff. Olivia Mayer left us yesterday, so she's not here today, but yesterday was her last day. Those of you who know Olivia know she's played a pretty major role in our department over the years and has been of particular help to me when I came here, and so she's going to be sorely missed. Hard to replace. And then also Jeremy Myers, who's sitting back here today. Jeremy's, his last week will be next week. Jeremy and I started about the same time, so we've kind of grown together here over the last couple of years in this position, or our positions. So Jeremy's got a great opportunity, and I know he'll do exceptionally well where he's headed, but we're really going to miss him as well. So a couple of big hits to the department, but I've enjoyed my time working with both of them, and Jeremy, you will definitely be missed. If you want to say anything, you absolutely can. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
I was planning on this for next week, but a couple comments, and I appreciate each one of you for your support of Parks and Recreation. Without Parks and Recreation in this community, we don't have fun. We don't get out and enjoy nature and the trails and the parks that we have accomplished and built. And I think the Parks and Rec staff that we have in place are doing great things. I know I'm going to miss our park operations team. I know I've only been here 2.5 years, but they grow on you, and they make the parks and the community more beautiful. Special places for people to go. I mean, if you have a cell phone and you're out and about, you're always taking pictures of in parks or on a merry-go-round or on a swing set. And I feel that I've left this department in a better place than when I started. We have a lot of money to use, and we've had a lot of money to spend. So you can see the smiling faces on all the kids at the playgrounds that we've improved. I know I took my kids to Collin Park on Saturday night, and the place was packed. You know, even our old merry-go-round there, and I still grind my teeth, but I still want that to be replaced with a merry-go-round, because if that merry-go-round leaves, kids will be sad. So my family's enjoyed our time here. We've I know, like I said, 2.5 years goes fast, and during the pandemic it was tough, but we do have great staff here. I appreciate your support and interest in everything that we do here in Parks and Recreation, because there's a lot of good things. I am pursuing, I have a position in Overland Park for the city. It's only 20 minutes from one of my family members with my wife's brother and his family, so we're excited to be closer to them and watch the girls grow up with their cousins. I will be overseeing the Deanna Rose Farmstead, which is very exciting, and a couple weekends ago, we took our daughters there, and they were kicking and screaming on the way out because they did not want to leave. So that's huge to us. And I know we'll spend our time at the Arboretum and the Farmers Market, which I'll oversee as well. But there's just a lot of opportunity, and whoever takes over this position, there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of support. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate Tim, Randy, John Boyd. The names go on. They know who they are. So. And like I said, I got another week to thank everybody and hang out with them and get some things done before I leave. So appreciate it.
Jeremy, thank you for everything you've done in 2.5 years. Coming from Holland, Michigan, in their deep tradition of the tulips, I know I saw the tulip crews out last week starting to plant tulips for the spring. And so
Still searching for volunteers.
I heard Commissioner Rippon likes planting tulips.
Really? I've planted a few.
And so, but I do want to thank you and your family for coming here, and it's good to know that you're not going far away. So you're still within the Parks and Rec community and still within the state, and so we'd like to continue to tap into that.
Great, thank you.
We might have to call you up for tips on the goose population and how to control it.
Or the trout.
Yeah.
By the way, trout season starts November 1st, not October 31st.
Okay,
So
okay.
Halloween, wait, eat your candy, and then go fishing the next morning.
Yeah, well, thanks for all the work you've done for us. I think you and Olivia both, we're going to miss. And it's just a testament that, we've got a good enough staff that people recruit you away. So, I mean, it's congratulations
Thank
on
you.
the promotion, I guess you could say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy, and good luck in your next endeavor.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Any other administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Rippon.
Well, it's Halloween coming up here, so when you're out and about, be careful. Watch out for all little ghosts and witches out there, and have fun, but be safe.
Thank you. Commissioner Mays.
Nothing for me.
This weekend, I think, is still homecoming weekend for Washburn, and so we have a Washburn homecoming to celebrate, as well as Washburn football this weekend. I might note to the public that you have until, I believe, still Monday at noon to vote at the advanced ballot. After that, you'll have to vote on Tuesday at your normal voting place. So please do go out and vote. I'd like to see those election numbers come up, and we still have a lot of important positions in local government. Everything from the mayor to school boards and city council. These are important positions within our community. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 6, executive session.
There is a need for an executive session for a personnel matters of non-elected personnel, specifically relating to the compensation wage study results. It'll be for a period of 30 minutes. No action is anticipated, starting at 10 o'clock. And that's a motion made by Commissioner Cook. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. We are in executive session with it beginning at 10 o'clock. Supposed to be dry for the homecoming parade in game.
I'm not gonna be here. I haven't missed a Washburn homecoming in a while, but the kids playing in a baseball tournament in Kansas City, so be cold baseball.
We have returned from executive session. No action was taken. We are adjourned.